Nicole Bonner with Thrive, and this video is made for my friend Alexandra. She wants to know how we get referrals on every re-exam. So there's a couple of things that you need to know. First of all, the re-exam we do, like the logistics behind it or the system behind the re-exam, is that they're done on every 12 visits. And that's kind of the standard of care for our industry. So in our office, we do them every 12 visits. But the purpose behind the re-exam is not necessarily to accumulate data about the patient's clinical condition. You can do that, and that's fine, for documentation purposes and things like that. But the re-exam is also an untapped goldmine for referrals. Let me explain. On every re-exam, you have the possibility or the potential to get at least one or more referrals from the patient that's going through the exam. So what's the mindset behind it and what's the system behind it? Well, in a minute, I'll tell you the system that I wrote that we use in our office that is basically foolproof. In my office, my CAs do all of my re-exams. So your CAs can do this. The doctor doesn't have to take the time out to do this. And the CAs can feel really empowered and confident when they go into their re-exam that they are going to not only make an impact in the patient's life, but they're also going to be leading the patient and teaching the patient how to become a leader in their own community and how to actually refer their friends, family, and loved ones. So before we talk about how we do it, we have to really talk about what's the fuel behind what we're doing. Let me explain. The most powerful force, that we have that makes people make certain decisions, or that influences people to make certain decisions, or that influences people to move in a certain way, or that makes people or influences people to have certain behaviors is energy. I know, it sounds really simple, but it's so powerful and so profound. Energy is everything. So the energy, the physiological energy in which you do the systems is absolutely essential. Now, what am I talking about when I talk about energy? Like, where does energy come from? So when I ask that question, where does energy come from? Sometimes people have said, well, energy comes from food. Well, food is a source of energy, but really energy comes from within. The type of energy that I'm talking about is the kind of boundless energy that we all have experienced in the course of our lives. A great example is when you are a little kid and it's Christmas morning. It doesn't matter how early it is, you're waking up early and you're running down the stairs to get to that Christmas tree to see what Santa brought you for Christmas, right? And there is a palpable energy about that. Even if you weren't feeling well that day, or if you normally would like to, are a person that likes to sleep in until 8, 9, or 10, or 11 o'clock in the morning as a kid, right? Christmas morning will roll around and sure shit, you'd be up at the crack of dawn with a palpable energy of excitement, okay? That's the energy that I'm talking about, that palpable energy, right? Another time, I'll give you a quick example of when I've experienced this. One time I had a ski trip planned. When I was a teenager, and I was going with the school on a weekend ski trip, and I was super excited for it. And like a couple of days before the trip, I came down with this nasty cold. I couldn't go to school. I had to miss school, and the next day was a ski trip. Well, you better bet your booty I woke up the next morning and I was just fine. My my enthusiasm and my excitement for going on that ski trip literally overrode how horrible I was feeling in that moment from a cold or whatever I was expressing, right? So we've all had those types of experiences. I'll give you one more example if those two didn't resonate with you. Have you ever walked into a room and walked past somebody that you never met, you never spoken to, you've never seen before, and there's just like something about that person that kind of makes you do this and just like go to the opposite side of the room? Okay. That is energy. People have it and people can feel it. All right. So, one of my favorite quotes is actually, I wish I had it in front of me. Actually, I do. Hold on. One of my favorite quotes, I'm going to share it with you. Is by Maya Angelou. She said, I learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. One of my favorite quotes because it's so true. All right. So, feelings, your energy can direct not only your feelings and the way that you present to the world, but it can also influence other people's feelings. And that's what you're doing on the re-exam. Now, most people, like 80% of your patients that you're going to be dealing with, are resonating actually at a lower energy. They're resonating at a lower energy. So I'm going to share my screen with you and talk to you a little bit about what I mean here. So this was developed by David Hawkins. This is his map of consciousness. And if you look here, you'll see the energetic law. This is the vibrational frequency at which people vibrate at. The lower the vibrational frequency, the more repellent a person is. The higher the vibrational frequency, the more attractive person is energetically. Okay. 80% of the world's population function down below this red line right here. So 8 out of 10 of the people that walk into your practice are going to be functioning in here. They're living where they're blaming themselves for something. They have regret for something. They're living in anxiety or fear. They may feel shame for something. All of those feelings are lower vibrational frequencies. Okay. When people are vibrating in this type of energy, they are stuck in more of a scarcity mindset. They're stuck maybe in victim mentality. Maybe they identify as a victim. You're going, what does all of this have to do with referrals? I'll get there, I promise. The point is that if your patient is stuck in a scarcity mindset, what is in it for me? When am I going to get better? What can you do for me, right? They're not going to be in a mindset of a higher vibration, which is that of peace, love, and joy, which is the type of vibration that they need to be in order to contribute to the other people on the planet. Okay. So we all have a desire. In fact, it's one of the human needs for contribution. There are actually 6 human needs. I'm going to go through them with you right now. And then I'll tie this all together for you. The first human need is the need for certainty. So that's the need for security. For example, when you get done with work today, you probably want to be secure that you have a home to go to, that your mortgage is getting paid, that you have food on your plate. Those all fall under the human need for certainty. Now, certainty is more of a scarcity mindset. Like you have to have protection. You have to be secure. So they fall under a lower frequency of vibration. The second human need goes up a little bit. It's the need for uncertainty. That is the aspect of surprise. That's why people in relationships go out on date night. You come from home for that. You come home from work and your spouse or your partner says, "All right, baby, put on your best dress. Surprise, we're going out to dinner. We're going out for a date night." That fills your need for uncertainty, the element of surprise, right? So that is a little bit higher on the vibrational scale, but it doesn't break this red line right here, this first red line, where we're still in the survival paradigm, right? We're still in a phase of survival here. The third human need is the need for significance. That's the need for people to feel important. And by the way, guys, so all of us have these needs. It just depends on, some of us spend more time searching after certain needs than others, right? So the third human need is the need for significance. That is the need to feel important, and that is a little bit higher on the vibrational frequency scale. Now you're starting to get into reason and integrity. That's where people are having feelings of optimism, trust, affirmation. The fourth human need is the need for love and connection, right? We all have a need to feel love. We all have a need to be connected with other people. That's why we live in community, right? So now we're climbing up that vibrational frequency, and we're moving away from the survival, like, what's in it for me kind of thing, scarcity. And now we're moving into a more a spiritual existence, when we're looking for love and connection. And that still brings us up right about here. That's understanding and forgiveness. Okay. Now, your fifth human need is the need for growth. Once again, we all have that need at some point or another, some season in our life. That's why people aren't content. Sometimes people will say to me, you have all this stuff and you have great practice, you have a beautiful family, you have great relationships. Why do you want to go on to the next thing? Why do you want more? Well, we all desire to grow. We all desire to go to the next thing, right? Some of us more than others. Some people are kind of stuck down here in this, I just want to survive kind of mode, right? But some of us are like, no, man, let's do this. I get one life. I want to make the best of it. What's next? What's the next level I can go to, and how do I get there, right? So that's the need for growth. And that is a higher energetic vibrational frequency. And the sixth human need is the need for contribution. It's the need for contribution. That's the need that we feel to give back to the planet. That's that desire that we have when we're walking by the homeless and we hand out some money, or we bring them a meal, or we do a random act of kindness for that little old lady coming out of the grocery store. We hold the door open for her, right? That's contribution, right? And that is a higher level of vibrational frequency up here in the spiritual paradigm, where we're giving, giving, giving. Okay, so I want you to see how, as we went through these six human needs, right, down here in certainty, it's all about taking, 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 right? I need to be certain that I can pay my mortgage. Believe it or not, those are 8 out of 10 of the people that you're going to be dealing with. They're just getting by. Like, they just want to get by. Like, they're just happy that they got up that day, they got to their 9 to 5, they clocked in, they clocked out, and they're just happy that they're living paycheck to paycheck, and they have enough money for all of their basic human needs, like shelter and food and water and clothing and things like that, right? You guys follow me, okay? So the question is then, if 8 out of 10 of the people that we're sitting in front of in a re-exam is functioning down here, but we have to get them to contribution, which is all the way up here, how do we do that? Well, now you might ask, because I asked this question. I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, by the way. When I was learning this, I asked this question. I was like, what does contribution have to do with referrals? Well, if you think about it, when your patients give you a referral, It's actually their way of contributing to their friends and family, meaning like they see a friend or a family that they believe can use chiropractic services, and they're giving them a call to action. They're contributing to them in a way that they're contributing something to them that's going to benefit them. That's going to be an investment for them. Does that make sense? So that like them giving, your patient giving their loved one, you as a referral to help them heal is equivalent to you providing a meal for a homeless person, right? That's contributing, they're contributing to that person. So the thing is we have to now know the skill or the tool on how to take them from certainty and a lower vibrational and how to take them into contribution. So what I did to make it easy is I created a list of I created questionnaires, and it's a list of questions that we actually give these questionnaires to our patients the day before they have their exam to fill out. And we actually have them sit down and fill them out. It doesn't take very long. It takes a couple of minutes, but they're all questionnaires that lead them into contribution naturally. And with the combination of your physiological state, meaning either the doctor or the CA's physiological state, and those questionnaires, which kind of leads them through the like mental gymnastics of bringing them up into contribution, you can get to the end of the questionnaire and simply ask, who needs to know this information? Okay. And they will give you people. But those two things have to be congruent. In other words, your CA can't be functioning in scarcity or security or uncertainty and expect to inspire or influence their patient to be in more of a spiritual paradigm or more of a giving paradigm. We have, the CA or the doctor has to be going into that room with that type of physiological state, that type of energy, because energy is everything. Energy drives everything. Energy drives everything. So, and one other last quick point is we actually have the patient write out the answers, because there's something in actually writing down things. You ever notice like people will tell you to journal, right? Or people will tell you to write down your answers. Well, the reason why we have you write down your answers or physically write something out is because it actually, by writing something, by the act of moving your hand and writing something out, it actually wires the brain to believe what you're writing down on a piece of paper, right? So it's that combination of the patient going through this process that influences them or helps them to become better leaders, to lead other patients into chiropractic. All right, so really fascinating. So you're probably wondering, what are these questions we ask? Well, Alexandra, you just asked me this question this morning. You wanted me to explain to you how we get a referral on every re-exam. And I told you I was going to do a live. I didn't do the live. I did it via video because I wanted to be able to share my screen so that you guys can see this map of consciousness, because I knew that there would be no way for me to explain it if you weren't able to see it. So I don't have those questions here with me because I'm here at my home, in my home office, but I wanted to get this out to you. But if you guys want a copy of those questions that we give our patients to fill out prior to the re-exam, and we review them in the re-exam with them, just like private message me your email, and I will have Kelly send you over attachments. I'll have Kelly email you all of the questionnaires that we use in our office to lead a patient directly to a referral. Okay, guys, hopefully that helped you out. There is a lot to this because, we're knowing a little bit about human behavior and like a little bit about psychology and how how people make certain decisions. Like, what is it about that patient that's going to make them decide to give you a referral? So there is a lot to know about this, but we try to simplify it and make it as easy as possible. So once again, Alexandra, hopefully this helped. Anybody else watching that wants these questions, just like private message us your email, and then Kelly will email you the questions. And then, of course, if you want me to review them with you and review how we go over them with a patient, I'd be more than happy to do that with you guys. All right, many blessings, and let's keep it up, guys. Let's keep saving lives. And you know, just as a quick, I have to say this quick little caveat here is always remember your purpose and always remember your why. So your purpose and your why for getting referrals is not to build your practice, not to make more money. It's not for you. See, if it's because it's for you, now you're still functioning in insecurity. Like, oh God, I got to get referrals to pay my mortgage. No, that's not what it's about. It's for them. It's for your patients, friends, or family so that they can live an unsubluxated life, so that they can experience the lifestyle that we experience as chiropractors and as chiropractic patients and as chiropractic advocates. They can experience a better life because they're not subluxated. And that's the level of contribution. You see the difference there, okay? So I'm going to give you some very powerful tools that, yes, will grow your practice, but tools can be used for good and they can be used for bad. And these tools are meant to be used for good. These tools that I give you are meant to share chiropractic with the world. They're meant to change the perception of chiropractic for humanity so that humanity can become even greater, even better. Okay. So I had to say that little caveat there because it's important. It's important that this is not about just building your practice and what's in it for you. This is about changing lives and helping people and doing what you intended to do when you went into chiropractic school, and do this for the love of humanity. All right, guys, hope that blesses you.